Most people believe a new global health emergency becomes dangerous only when a virus begins spreading from person to person. That belief feels logical, especially when headlines focus on outbreaks. But for seniors 60 plus, that assumption leaves out a critical detail. Because risk doesn't begin with the H3N2 virus itself. It begins with what's already happening inside the body, long before any global health warning is announced. During every health emergency, attention goes to the threat outside. Yet researchers have noticed a different pattern in senior health. The Super Flu H3N2 doesn't affect everyone the same way, especially when it comes to flu risk seniors face after 60. Some older adults experience heavier strain than others, not because of exposure alone, but because of internal readiness before exposure happens. This is why many senior health alerts sound confusing at first. They talk about prevention, yet skip an essential explanation: what actually determines how the body responds under pressure. For seniors, response isn't random or based on luck. It follows a predictable internal sequence, one that quietly develops over time, and understanding that sequence changes everything going forward. Health authorities across multiple regions are closely monitoring what is now being described as a new global health emergency. This attention is not based on speculation or media exaggeration. It comes from observable patterns linked to the H3N2 virus, often referred to as the Super Flu H3N2 in public discussions, because of how quickly it can challenge older immune systems, especially during periods of widespread exposure. What makes this global health warning different is the way it highlights vulnerability rather than infection alone. Reports consistently point to increased concern for older populations, particularly seniors 60 plus, during seasonal and global outbreaks. Not because the virus is new, but because the internal conditions of aging bodies have changed, and those changes quietly raise overall flu risk. This is why many senior-focused health briefings are becoming more frequent. They emphasize preparedness instead of panic reaction, awareness instead of fear-based reaction. Because when the body is already under strain, even familiar viral challenges can feel unfamiliar. And once that strain crosses a certain threshold, the outcome often depends on what was done beforehand. But this raises an important question that most alerts never fully explain. If exposure alone isn't the deciding factor, then what actually determines risk for seniors during a global health emergency like this one? If you're over 60, you've likely felt it in subtle ways. Your body doesn't bounce back the way it once did. Recovery feels slower, energy fluctuates more easily, and small stressors seem to linger longer than expected. These changes often feel normal, even unavoidable. But during a health emergency, they carry more weight, because internal resilience matters more than ever. For seniors 60 plus, vulnerability is rarely obvious or dramatic. It doesn't announce itself with clear warning signs. Instead, it builds quietly inside interconnected systems: circulation, immune response, cellular repair, and energy regulation. When one system slows down, others must compensate, until they can't do so effectively anymore. That silent strain increases overall flu risk. This is why many older adults feel caught off guard. They followed general advice and stayed cautious, yet still felt overwhelmed when health pressure appeared. Not because they did something wrong, but because internal systems were already under stress. And statistics consistently show this pattern. Seniors are more affected when that stress goes unaddressed. What's rarely explained is how that internal stress accumulates, why it feels invisible until it suddenly matters, and why reacting after the fact is often too late. Because by the time symptoms appear, the internal sequence has already been set in motion. And understanding that sequence is the next critical step. During flu outbreaks and health alerts, many seniors are told to focus on individual actions one at a time. A nutrient here, a habit there, a tip from one source. Each suggestion sounds reasonable on its own, but taken separately, they rarely create meaningful change. Because the body doesn't operate in isolated compartments, and treating it that way leads to frustration. The human body functions more like a connected system, similar to a set of interdependent circuits or gears. When one part slows down, others must compensate. If compensation continues for too long, strain builds up. Yet fragmented solutions ignore that internal coordination. They attempt to flip one switch at a time, while the rest of the system remains unbalanced. This is why many seniors feel disappointed by their efforts. They follow advice faithfully, but see limited results, not because the steps were useless, but because they were incomplete when used alone. A system under pressure needs unified support, not scattered inputs applied without sequence, and that missing sequence is what creates the gap. That gap often leaves seniors feeling unsure and discouraged. They start questioning what actually works, or whether anything can make a real difference, especially during a global health warning. But the issue isn't effort or discipline, it's the absence of a system-wide approach, and recognizing that changes how preparedness should begin. What researchers are now paying closer attention to is not just the virus itself or how it spreads. They are observing something far more consistent, a pattern related to how the body responds under pressure, especially during periods labeled as a health emergency. The difference appears long before exposure occurs, inside what can be described as an internal readiness system.
This internal readiness system isn't a single organ or function. It's a coordinated process involving multiple systems working together: immune signaling, circulation, cellular communication, and recovery. When these systems are aligned, the body adapts more smoothly. When they are strained or out of sync, response becomes harder. This helps explain why similar exposures produce different outcomes, particularly among seniors 60+. To make this easier to understand, researchers often describe it as a structured sequence, a logical progression rather than a random reaction. This sequence can be organized into a simple framework, often referred to conceptually as a three-phase internal defense protocol. Not a product, but a way of supporting the system as a whole. The importance of this idea lies in its simplicity. Instead of reacting to each new alert separately, the focus shifts to overall internal preparedness, because when the system is supported as one unit, the response tends to be more stable, less chaotic, more predictable under stress. This is where a new opportunity begins for seniors, not by chasing isolated solutions, but by understanding how internal systems cooperate and how pressure reveals existing imbalances. When those imbalances are addressed in sequence, the body's response often changes noticeably, without force or extreme intervention. What most people don't realize yet is that this protocol follows a very specific order. Skipping steps weakens the overall effect. Starting too late limits its usefulness. Each phase prepares the next, and that sequence explains why timing matters so much. Which brings us to what happens in the very first phase. The first phase is known as internal preparation. This phase focuses on stabilizing the internal environment. Over time, the body accumulates silent stressors. These stressors don't cause immediate symptoms, but they slowly weaken natural defense coordination, especially in seniors 60+ during high-pressure periods. Preparation means reducing that internal noise first. When internal stress is left unaddressed, the body is forced to react instead of respond. That reaction uses more energy and creates imbalance. Phase 1 is about creating a calmer internal baseline so systems can communicate more efficiently. This isn't about adding pressure or stimulation, it's about restoring internal balance before activation. Once the internal environment is prepared, the system naturally moves into Phase 2, activation. This phase supports the body's core response mechanisms, the same mechanisms seniors rely on during flu seasons. When activation happens too early, it often backfires, but when it follows proper preparation, the response tends to feel smoother and more controlled. Activation doesn't mean pushing the body harder, it means supporting what already exists naturally. Circulation, signaling, and adaptive response improve, not because something new is forced into the system, but because existing pathways are no longer blocked. This distinction is critical during a health emergency. Force increases strain, while support improves coordination. The final phase is sustainment and optimization. This phase ensures the system doesn't collapse over time. Pressure during a global health warning can last weeks. Without sustainment, even strong systems become fatigued. This phase focuses on consistency and stability, helping the body maintain balance under prolonged demand, so short-term readiness doesn't turn into long-term depletion. Together, these phases follow a simple logic: not force, not stimulation, but support, applied in the right order. Each phase strengthens the next. Skipping one weakens the entire structure, and this raises an important question about application. This protocol was designed with simplicity in mind. It doesn't require complicated routines or extreme changes. There are no overwhelming schedules to memorize, no constant adjustments or difficult tracking systems. Instead, it follows a clear daily structure, one that naturally fits into a senior's lifestyle without adding stress or confusion. Each phase is applied in a logical, experience-based way. Seniors aren't asked to do everything at once. The protocol progresses as the body is ready. This makes the process feel manageable and predictable rather than disruptive or demanding, which is especially important during health alerts when mental clarity matters as much as physical readiness. The focus is consistency rather than intensity. Small, repeatable actions carried out daily. Over time, these actions support internal coordination without forcing the body to adapt abruptly. This reduces the risk of burnout or overreaction, a common issue with aggressive approaches, especially among older adults. Many seniors describe the experience as stabilizing. They feel more grounded in their routine, less reactive to sudden health news, because the protocol becomes part of daily life, not something only used during emergencies. This familiarity builds confidence over time, and confidence reduces internal stress. Simple steps lead to clearer awareness. Clear phases remove uncertainty. A predictable routine reduces hesitation. Together, these elements create a sense of control. Not control over external events, but over internal readiness and response, which is where real stability begins. What often surprises people is how small adjustments, when applied in the right sequence, can create noticeable shifts in how the body feels. Not dramatic overnight changes, but gradual, steady improvements in balance. And this leads many seniors to ask the same question: if it's this simple, why doesn't everyone do it this way?
Across different high-risk periods, many seniors have shared similar observations. They describe feeling more stable in their daily routine, more confident facing health-related uncertainty, and better prepared when alerts begin circulating. Not because fear was removed, but because internal readiness felt more consistent. These experiences are not presented as guarantees. They are not promises of specific outcomes. They are simply patterns noticed over time, shared by seniors following a structured approach, during moments when pressure tends to rise, especially in seasons associated with flu risk, where uncertainty often triggers stress. What stands out is the language seniors use. They talk about feeling more balanced or less reactive. Some mention improved confidence in their body's response. Others describe a sense of preparedness they didn't expect. Not dramatic shifts, but subtle changes that added up over time and made stressful periods feel more manageable. These shared experiences highlight an important distinction. Preparedness is not the same as control. It doesn't eliminate external challenges, but it changes how the body and mind respond. When internal systems feel supported, stress doesn't escalate as quickly, and decision-making becomes calmer and clearer. Health professionals often note similar patterns, not tied to one element alone, but to consistency and system-wide support. When seniors follow a clear sequence, internal strain appears reduced, and adaptability improves under pressure. Again, not as a promise, just an observation. This kind of proof doesn't rely on dramatic claims. It relies on repetition across experiences. Different people, different situations, yet similar descriptions of stability and confidence, which naturally leads to an important consideration: what happens when this protocol is fully organized and accessible? That is why this complete protocol was carefully organized, not as a single action, but as a guided system, one that walks seniors step by step through all 3 phases, so there is no confusion about what comes first, no guessing about timing or sequence. Each phase builds naturally on the previous one, creating clarity instead of uncertainty. For many seniors 60 plus, the biggest challenge is not effort, it's knowing what actually makes sense to do next. This protocol removes that mental burden. It provides a clear path during periods of heightened concern, especially during a new global health emergency, where mixed messages can increase stress, and stress itself weakens internal balance. It's important to be clear about who this is for. This protocol is not designed for instant fixes. It is not for those seeking shortcuts or quick reactions, and it's not built around emergency-only thinking. Instead, it's meant for seniors who value preparation, who prefer logic over panic, and who want a steady, repeatable approach. The focus is on education and structure, understanding how the system works as a whole and why each phase exists for a reason. This approach helps seniors feel more confident in their decisions, rather than constantly reacting to new alerts, because confidence comes from clarity, and clarity comes from having a complete framework. Within this framework, specific supportive elements are used. These elements are explained in detail as part of the protocol, not as isolated solutions, but as components of each phase. Their role is to support the process, not replace it. They are integrated strategically, not randomly, and they follow the same logic of preparation, activation, and sustainment, which keeps the system aligned and consistent. For those who want to explore these supportive elements further, all explanations are made available in one place, so seniors don't have to search or piece information together. Everything follows the same structured sequence. The details are accessible through the link provided, located in the first pinned comment below this video. And understanding how it all comes together leads to the final decision. If you're over 60 and watching this right now, it means you're already thinking ahead. You're not waiting for fear to make decisions for you. You want clarity during a global health alert and a calmer way to approach uncertainty. This protocol was designed with that mindset in mind, to help you feel prepared rather than reactive. Preparation doesn't require panic or drastic changes. It starts with understanding how your body functions as a system and choosing to support that system intentionally, especially during a new global health emergency when outside information can feel overwhelming. Clarity becomes one of the most valuable tools, and clarity begins with education and structure. If this approach makes sense to you, take a moment to engage with this video. Your interaction helps this message reach other seniors, people who may be feeling uncertain or confused. Simple actions increase visibility for calm, logical guidance, the kind of guidance seniors deserve, especially during periods of heightened concern. Please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment below saying, "I want to stay prepared," and follow the channel for ongoing senior health updates. These small steps help keep reliable information accessible, not just for you, but for others in the same age group who are looking for clarity instead of fear, and for education instead of panic. For those who want to explore further, the supportive elements used within this protocol are explained clearly and in proper sequence, so there is no guessing about what comes next. All details are organized to match the 3 phases, and they are available through a single reference point, found in the first pinned comment below this video. In times of a health emergency, smart decisions are rarely about reacting quickly. They are about responding thoughtfully, supporting the system as a whole, rather than chasing isolated answers. And once you understand that logic, the next step becomes a calm and informed choice.